Hi and welcome to the daily reading for June the 6th, and is coming from Each Day a New Beginning, Daily Meditations for Women. So it starts with a quote from Christina Baldwin. From early infancy onwards, we all incorporate into our lives the message we receive concerning our self-worth or lack of self-worth. And this sense of value is to be found beneath our actions and feelings as a tangled network of self-perception. Lifting our self-esteem is not a particularly easy task for most of us. It's probable that again and again our confidence wavered before we sought help from the program. It's also probable that our confidence still wanes on occasion. The old fears don't disappear without effort. But each day we can do some one thing that will help us to feel better about ourselves. All it takes is one small act or decision each day. The program can give us the strength we need each day to move forward one step. Today I will do one thing I've been putting off. A whole collection of one days will lay the groundwork for the person I'm building within. Alrighty. The program, in case you haven't listened to any of the other videos where this book talks about the program, it's written for Alcoholics Anonymous, and that's the program that it talks about. I have friends who are in that program, and they actually told me the author's name. Her name isn't on this book, but they had a different copy, and it must have been, I think, a future copy where she'd actually put her name on it. So I should get that for everybody. But the program that's spoken about whenever I do a reading from Each Day a New Beginning is a 12-step program. So it's talking about, finding the program, and the 12 steps in the program giving us the help that we need when we're struggling. So I personally am not on a 12-step program. I can see great merits in the 12-step program, but I'm still on the path of doing things myself in the way that I want to do them. So that could change at any point in time, and maybe I'll decide there's a 12-step program out there for me that would be beneficial. But for me, things that I'm doing in my own life just now feel beneficial. Things like connecting with like-minded people, which is part of a 12-step program. Meditation is part of the program. Believing in a power higher than ourselves is part of the program. So I do a lot of these things as an individual that are part of a 12-step program. So, if you are someone who is struggling through life and you think that you really need some tools, have a look at some of the 12-step programs out there for various things, maybe for a struggle that you have, and just look at some of the steps, the first to the 12 steps, and see what they advise. What step of the program could be helpful for you. I don't think, I think the way that it works is you go through the steps in chronological order in these programs. But, I think there's probably merit also for people who want to dip in and say, yep, I need to be working on that. I need to increase that in my life. And that would be very helpful. So lifting our self-esteem is not a particularly easy task for most of us. And I think it does start, in this, Christina Baldwin says, from early infancy, we all incorporate into our lives the message we receive concerning our self-worth or lack of it. I didn't think about it starting as early as infancy, but maybe it does. Certainly, I believe it starts in childhood. It believes in the way that our relationships are with our parents, with our siblings, and our peers. For me, my self-esteem was bashed both by my parents to some extent, albeit that they loved me and they would never have meant for that effect to have been, put upon me. But, I grew up in a generation where you weren't really allowed to talk well of yourself. You were deemed to be big-headed if you said something good about yourself. So from a very early age, I wasn't able to say anything good about myself to other people. So that kind of translated for me that there wasn't anything good for me to say because I wasn't allowed to say it. So that meant it wasn't true. So I'm sure that there's a whole bunch of people in my generation had the same upbringings, and it was because our parents had the upbringing that they had. I do not blame my parents at all for my lack of self-esteem and self-worth. It was just how it was, and it is a generational thing. And I do hope that, as each generation goes through, that we give our children, a bit more, like you are magnificent than we were given ourselves. Oh, my 5 minutes is up, so I need to go. Namaste, love to you all, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.